Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about a children's trading card game, another One Piece video for you today. If you are seeing this on YouTube, my Patreon members, my patrons, my Patreon subscribers, they saw this weeks ago, and so they are going into their pre-releases very well prepared. So if you're interested in getting this kind of content early, please do check it out. It's linked in the description. I think it's a very modest fee for what you're getting on there. You'll also be getting very in-depth deck profiles and meta-analyses and things like that early before tournament season starts, so you can go in with the best preparation. With that shilling out of the way, today I'm going to be talking about the OP02 pre-releases and giving my full guide on what you should be doing to win yours. Now obviously doesn't actually specify if there are that many prizes outside of course, the winner promo, but going off of the promo prices in One Piece in general, that winner promo is probably going to be fetching quite a pretty penny. I do not see it going below $100, so, you know, if you can do anything to increase your odds of getting that free payday and getting more One Piece money, then I think there is nothing wrong with that. So let's talk through what this is going to be. So for the week from March 3rd to March 9th, test out the new battle early. Well, what amazing verbiage from Bandai here. So yeah, basically you can show up and try out this new format early and win a prize exclusive pre-release. You can buy boxes and you will be getting additional pre-release packs. So obviously there's a benefit for whaling here. Kind of makes me regret pre-ordering boxes, but it is what it is. I might pick up one or two just to guarantee I have stuff for my championship event, which I got into on the 18th of March, which is the week after the set releases. Though I would hope locals, if they know what allocation they're getting, would just hold these back. Just so people who pre-ordered can get them. But anyway. So basically, your store is going to be either doing constructed or sealed format. If it's constructed format, then we don't care. That's just going to be, you know, showing up, building a deck. You're just gonna have to make a set 2 deck, the best of your ability with whatever set, with whatever cards you can. And realistically, in that case, you're just gonna kind of pray you pull a Kinemon or something, and then play that, play your normal set 1 kid deck with like any copies of the rare Yamato you pull, and then you're good to go. But the more important and realistically the one that stores are gonna go with is gonna be sealed. So that's what we're gonna be talking about today. But first, let's talk about this participation prize. This is Smoker. So there's a 3/5. Don 1. This character cannot be KO'd in battle by characters without these special attributes. So this is pretty mid. Very unlikely you would ever play this. Of course, the artwork is great, but you know it's very unlikely to ever see actual play. It's much more of a collector's piece. And to be fair, you know, anecdotally, my locals pre-release sold out in about 5 minutes, and I am not sure there's going to be that many of these out in the wild. So this may well be worth something. And then you're also going to be getting this participation pre-release pack, where you get 2 cards per pack, and these are going to be pre-release stamped cards from OP02, commons and uncommons. As an aside, I am trying to max rarity black. If you get any black pre-release cards, DM me, I want them. Anyway, trying to weaponize my small amount of followers for my own personal gain aside. Of course, if you win, you are getting this pre-release stamped winner card. I hope it's foil. That would be nice. Obviously we don't know, and this is going to be, you know, the money essentially, and otherwise that's it. You know, there may be extra, judging by the fact that they're sending boxes as well, there's probably going to be extra packs you'll get if you do well as well. So what do you need to do well? Well, let's take a look at the rules for sealed here. So players open a set number of booster packs from a specified set and build their decks using only the cards they open. Unlike standard play, you can ignore the normal deck building color restrictions based on your leader and can include cards of any color in your deck, and there are additional special rules for deck building. So usually, you know, it's going to be 6 packs. You may bring your own leader, so there's going to be a section we're going to be rating previous leaders, because, spoiler alert, you're going to want to bring a previous one, because there is a very real chance you just won't get a leader, and then you are kind of boned. And then, of course, bring 10 Don cards, whatever. So, after opening your 6 packs, you build a 40-card deck and a 10-card Don deck. There are no banned or restricted cards, and players can include as many copies of cards with the same card number as they like, so no 4-card limit. Any cards left over from deck construction are treated as sideboard cards. In case this happens to be a best of 3, not sure why you would do a sealed best of 3, but if you did, you do have access to a sideboard. There's going to be a Swiss. Cards not used in decks are sideboard cards. In between games, they can exchange cards in the deck with the sideboard. So, also, even if it's best of 1, if you find out that this thing you thought was going to work isn't, you can change it. That's absolutely fine. So, special game rules. In a sealed format games, players can ignore deck color requirements based on their leader. Any other text restrictions still apply as normal. So, essentially, if you use, you know, OP01 Doflamingo, you can still only call Shichibukai cards. However, you can include red cards in that deck. is basically what this is saying. So that is the rules. So let's start off by discussing the leaders. So I have a list of all the previous leaders, of all the leaders in the game at the moment here. Of course, a lot of these are not going to be legal just yet. And let's go ahead and make this a little bit better for you guys. There we go. So, which ones of these are going to matter? Zorro absolutely is going to matter. This is a very generically playable card here. It says, don 1 on your turn, or your character gain 1000 power. So this is obviously going to be usable in a super release where, don't forget, the power. So one thing to remember is the counter power people are going to have is going to be lower than average. So being able to throw out 5 and 6s, especially 6s, people are not going to have that many 2Ks. People are not going to have that many ways of plussing. So something like this is actually going to be very, very good. Zorro is probably going to be an A or S tier leader for a pre-release format. Law, I would not play. You have no way of guaranteeing that you're going to be doing anything decent, so I would absolutely not play Law. Luffy, again, but the problem is with this is you need Supernovas or Straw Hat Crew, and yes, they exist, but I still wouldn't really want to risk it, because otherwise you're playing a vanilla leader, and yes, you have 2 colors, but you have 4 life, and for that reason, I'm pretty much writing off any dual color leader anyway, because of how sealed formats tend to just be kind of aggro ooga booga, and can just come down to whoever has bigger dudes. Something like having this disadvantage is pretty severe. Odin might be decent. There are plenty of Wano country cards, but you are kind of pigeonholing yourself into needing to get decent green cards to do anything with this, so I still wouldn't recommend it. Doffy is an absolute no, because you're unlikely to ever use that effect. Blurple, Kaido, this might be okay, like this is your only way of ramping, however, you are in this situation where you are, again, on 4 life, so I wouldn't recommend it. Definitely wouldn't play Blurple Croc. King is an option, but I would much rather play Kaido. Then we go into the set 2 options. So Whitebeard, this, you could use this, but you are losing out on basically all of the events that make Whitebeard survivable. However, you are 6k. So I do think Whitebeard is probably one that's worth playing, because you do have the advantage of those just incredible stats. And obviously if you do get any of Whitebeard's like particularly good events, then you get to use those too, and those are crazy. Kinemon, I wouldn't play Garp. Kinemon is decent, but you kind of need to be pulling some decent Wano cards. So this one, if you get it, maybe, but you'll have to see. Sanji, Sanji's actually probably one of the better dual color options for this format, because, spoiler alert, vanillas are going to be very important, but, you know, again, 2 life, so unlikely. Eva, I mean, this might actually be decent. This is probably the blue leader I would go for, because you are likely to just find yourself out of resources very frequently. Being able to just draw 2 is likely to be good, but again, you have to pull the cards, so there's that. Magellan, I absolutely would not recommend. Zed, I would also not recommend. Smoker, I would also not recommend, because it's unlikely to be really doing anything, and, you know, like, this actually requires a lot of synergy to build around it. There's not, like, a massive number of black cards that you're going to have access to, so probably not. And then, onto the starter deck ones. Luffy's going to be very powerful. Very, very powerful, certainly. But I think Zoro is better, because whilst this is nice, you don't have cards like Nami to really, like, make him go sicko mode. Kid is probably the best leader you can choose, because this effect is so insane in a vacuum, and you're not worried about restrictions or anything. This is something, fundamentally, if it gets to later on in the game, your opponent's just not going to have blockers. You can just go 12-12. And for that reason, I think Kid is probably S+ tier. We're going to go through the card pool, and you're going to see there are really not that many blockers, so this card is going to be kind of nuts. Just honestly, it's to the point where it might be the play to just play this like you're playing into Purple Kaido, and just go, okay, load up Dons, swing, 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 and literally just hold your hand to guard your opponent's attacks, and never give a shit about building a board, because you're just going to kill your opponent before then. Very possible that's the play. I'm not recommending it yet, though. I'd have to try it out, but it's possible. It's possible. This is also very good as a blue leader, just because you are able to remove your opponent's board, though I think Eva might be better, just because you are likely to find yourself without any cards, so I think you could go one way or the other on that. Kaido is the one you want to go with for purple leader, being able to burn. And of course, Sakazuki is probably what you want to be going with if you want to play black, but I would not recommend it. So yeah, overall, I would basically say you either want to be playing Kid or Zoro, because you can guarantee owning those, so just show up to your pre-release with those, and you should be in for a good time. So I went through and I looked at the number of cards of each rarity you're going to be getting. So you have 6 packs. Per pack, you're getting 8 commons, 3 uncommons, and 2 rares. So we're going to go through now those different card pools, and we're going to see what's available, and that should inform the kind of strategies we should be going for. So firstly, we've got the commons here, and you can see there's obviously quite a lot of them. Now, you are going to be getting 48 commons, so it is relatively unlikely you'll get any doubles. So what I'm going to go through is I'm just going to pick out all the ones that you should be concerned with. And firstly, I'm going to say that's every single vanilla. So Atmos, King Dew, Thatch. I'm not going to go through every single one, but every single one of these vanilla cards that is 4-drop or greater, you want to be considering, because these are value stats, and you are very likely to get them, and your opponent is very unlikely to be able to just instantly deal with them, so they are valuable for that reason. Sorry, just making that a little more even so you can see everything. Other important cards here, besides the vanillas, are going to be just the particularly busted ones that each color has. So, you know, Curly Dadan is great and constructed, but there's actually not going to be that many red cards you get with her unless you just open a lot of reds, right? So if you get Curly Dadan, and you also get Dogura, Makino, and Magra, if you get all of them, then yes, okay, maybe it's worth actually bothering to include those, but I think that's relatively unlikely. Cards like the Whitebeard Pirates, if you do not get a large quantity of Whitebeard Pirate cards, probably not going to be worth bothering with. Cards like Toki, this is probably not doing anything. You're unlikely to actually get it. It might just be a dead card. So, realistically, outside of the vanillas, things like the blockers. So, Inazuma, this is a blocker. There's not many blockers, so you care about that. Cat Viper. This is kind of bad, but it is a blocker. Like, it's actually quite bad, but it's a blocker, so it's something, right? You notice there's absolutely zero blocking in red at common rarity. We keep going down into blue, and Morley might be okay, but unlikely to be any good. Most of these are unlikely to be that great. Cards like Deathwing, though, might be quite decent, because Deathwing in particular, 6k power and then drawing up, if you've just dropped your entire hand, could be very, very good. So this is these 6k events are probably worth considering, because your opponent is very likely just be loading up the plate and absolutely slamming into you. Other particular ones here, Domino is going to be amazing as a 2-drop blocker, so that's one you're definitely going to want to be including. Mina Koala as a blocker, again, no one gives a shit about this on KO. This is another blocker, and it's a 4/5, so it's pretty good. Most of these events are unlikely to be good. Isuka, this card is going to be crack. This card is going to be amazing. Don 1, if you KO an opponent's character, you set this character as active. So obviously, it does need to kill, so it's significantly worse than Hawkins, but it has a counter power, and fundamentally you can just slap 5 Dons onto it and swing into something, and then you always have an attacker. Your opponent's never going to be able to kill it because you just leave it as stood. Or potentially it's just something that enables a kill turn if your opponent only has blockers left. So this is going to be very, very good. I would definitely be using a card like this. These smaller vanillas, like Sentamaru with a trigger to play it, probably worth it just because they're cheap and they're doing something, but unlikely. I think these are definitely like on the lowest tier. Obviously, Rosinante is going to be amazing because this is another 2-drop blocker. But by and large, these are you are generally going to be looking for counter power and vanillas. Now, I don't actually see any 2k counters in the common slot, so I'm not sure if they're actually just all uncommons. I think they're actually all uncommon. So in the common slot, you're primarily focused on vanillas. Oh, here we go. Chopper. Chopper is a 2k counter, so you absolutely want these. Actually, I can build it for this. So we want 2k counters. Show me the 2ks. Oh my god, did it really not filter this? Paramount War. Okay, so you want any common... okay, whatever, it's failed. But you want 2k counters, okay. Now let's go and look at uncommons. And any of these particularly good. For some reason, it double filtered into some of these and showed them as commons. My bad, sorry guys. The website made a mistake. But yeah, as you can see, a lot of these... Oh yeah, so 2k counter here. It's kind of it. The uncommons are kind of dire, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, okay, Isuka. Potentially getting banished with Onigumo, but very unlikely. Yeah, basically, the pool is kind of dire. Brindy World might be okay as just securing a kill. This might actually be alright in sealed only. But yeah, so generally that kind of formula, I stand by it basically. In the uncommons and commons, which is going to be 11 out of your 13 cards plus a Don per pack, you just want to be finding counter power and vanilla stats and just general power cards. For example, like a card like Squad, like, you're probably not actually going to be able to use this. So there's actually not that many, like, big power cards, right? Like, cards like Boa are going to be really, really good, because this is like a draw 1, trash 1. It's a 4/5. It's got good stats. Like, Boa's a card you're definitely going to want to be picking up. But something like Daifugo, this is doing absolutely nothing for you. However, it's a 3/5, so you still probably want to play it, because it's got that vanilla tier stats. So you don't just be focused on only getting vanillas, of course. Like, if you see cards with decent stats and not a non-mandatory like on plays or things that disadvantage you, then go for it. This Doffy might be pretty good. Placing 1 cost or lowers, there's not that many. But if your opponent's trying to do some sort of janky red rush strategy, something like this might just be good to play. And obviously the on-play to look at the top 3 might be pretty good. And you don't need to use this, but obviously you can stack him up with Doms and then he's doing something. So there's some options there. But obviously the big ones are going to be in your rare slot. This is decided to include all the super rares as well, and all the secret rares. But we're only talking about the rares right now. So you're only going to get 12 of these. You're going to have 12 rares total, but every single rare is a power card, pretty much. If you got a Jozu, this is one of the worst ones to get, because you do need to be playing Whitebeard, so you're probably not getting the out of this, but it's a 2k counter, so who cares? You get Jozu, you're happy because you got a 2k counter. Vista, this card is going to be crazy. If you get a Vista, dude, this will be giving you a lot of value. If you get a Masked Juice, this will be giving you value as well. It's a 2k counter, and you can potentially KO chump blockers if your opponent's got any. If you get a Marco, oh buddy, unlikely to be able to revive him, but if you can, this is going to be nuts. Mainly it's just a 4/5, and it's the threat that he can be revived, and it's a blocker is the main thing. So yeah, Marco is going to be insane. Seaquake here, the problem is with this one, you need to have a Whitebeard Pirate, so unlikely to go off. Carrot, this is a 2k counter, so you absolutely will be happy if you get this. And potentially this setting to active if you get lots of events. Brook. This is not a 2k counter, but it can let you spam the board out. Unlikely, though. Luffy will be nice here just as a large blocker. You're unlikely to get the on-play off, but that as a large blocker is going to be valuable. This is going to be a king card. If you get this Yamato, you should be winning, because you can, on curve, just deal with whatever your opponent plays down. Like you establish 6k body early, and then you just get the, this card is going to be amazing in sealed. Buggy'd probably be quite bad, actually. You're unlikely to be able to resolve it. Bonklay, this is a 2k counter, so you want to see this card. Miss Galdino, this is going to be very, very good. This card is going to be very, very good, because it's like a 7-cost kid, just smaller. So, but there's not easy outs to this 4/5. So the fact that you can just like get to swing with it and then put it back to active means you just have a way to not die. I think this card's going to be very, very, very nice. Sadie, this is a 2k counter, so that's why you want to. The rest of these aren't particularly great. I think Shiryu is, I mean, you can KO something, but it's mainly for stats. You'd want that card. Hell's Judgment is a crazy good event. If you get this will definitely save you, so definitely be using this if you pull it. Kobe is potentially nice. Actually, like, pretty damn good. I would definitely be playing Kobe's if I got them. This Smoker is pretty mid. But yeah, and of course, Sengoku is a 2k counter. You absolutely want that. And yeah, Garp as a 2k counter as well. So if you get any of these, you're going to be very, very happy. Getting all these 2k counters. Generally speaking, your rares, it's basically going to want to be playing all of them in your deck. Like, they're kind of just auto-includes if we look through the quality of this pool. Unless you're pulling stuff like, even if you pull Paradise Totsuka, this is probably like playable and sealed. The only rares that are bad is Buggy, anything purple, anything purple besides Hell's Judgment and Sadie, half the purple. And that's kind of it, honestly. Meteor Volcano. I guess Meteor Volcano wouldn't be ideal, but like, by and large, your rare slot is going to be doing lots of work. Now, of course, we'll quickly discuss the super rares, but basically, if you get any of these, you're winning. I'm not really going to dwell on them. If you get any of these, you're having a great time, but in particular, Odin's going to be nuts. Odin, you just hard mult for Odin, and then you kind of win. Sakazuki is going to be nuts if you get that. Ace is going to be nuts as a rush card. Whitebeard's going to be nuts as a power card. Any of these really big ones, you're going to be absolutely vibing. Yeah, it will be crazy. And then, of course, if you get the secret rares, if you get Kuzan, yep, hard mult for your Kuzan. If you get Uta, hard mult for your Uta. So basically, that is it. As a summary, bring a copy of Kid, bring a copy of Zoro as your leaders. You're going to be using those, and bring 10 Don cards. From your deck, just take all your rare and above cards, slap them in, and then look through your commons and uncommons. Anything with a 2k counter, in it goes. Anything with like, anything that's a vanilla, that's like a big, in it goes. And then you should probably be about 30 to 35 cards, and then just look through the dregs and put in anything decent that remains. Or of course, prioritizing things like blockers, things that have big stats, stuff like that. And then when it comes to play, just kind of mull for your power cards. the game's going to be very, very slow, and make sure you take advantage of your leader ability. That's why Zoro might be less good, because you do need to kind of spam the board, and it doesn't look like that's going to be super easy, so it's worth saying. But I think Kid is just absolutely the play, so bring a copy of a Kid leader and you should be fine. That is it for this guide. I hope you guys found this useful. If you did, please like the video, subscribe to the channel for more One Piece content. Of course, join my Patreon page where you can get all this stuff really early. We've got a lovely little community over there, and that is it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.